Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
Good morning, it's Friday, August 10th, 2018. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Fair warning to everybody, it is Parents' Weekend at the United States Naval Academy. This is the weekend where about 3,000 people that aren't familiar with the town flood it to be reunited with their plebe who has just undergone 6 weeks of hell at the Naval Academy since they started on I-Day back on June 28th. It will be crowded around town this weekend. There will be people driving weirdly. Please just cut them a little bit of a break. They will be gone on Monday. If you would like to see the plebes march in a parade, there is a 1-hour parade on Warden Field on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. It is open to the public. The best access is going to be through Gate 3, which is at the dead end of Maryland Avenue. And remember, anytime you go on the Naval Academy yard, you're going to need to have a government-issued ID to get on. And just as it is during commissioning week, the word of the weekend is patience, grasshopper. Yesterday in a news conference, Governor Hogan outlined Maryland's plan in accelerating its fight against human trafficking with millions of dollars in state funding to support and create multiple initiatives that will help victims and go after criminals.
These vulnerable young victims are being coerced and threatened. They're exploited and enslaved, and then they're often repeatedly sexually assaulted and raped. As a father, I'm heartbroken for these daughters and sons who are being victimized and brutalized. So today I'm announcing that on the very first day of the next legislative session in January, we will introduce the Felony Human Trafficking Act of 2019.
During the press conference in Rockville, he signed an executive order to create the position of Anti-Human Trafficking Director who will engage with and coordinate with communities in addressing the issue throughout the state. And part of the funding will include a $500,000 grant to help the University of Maryland create a crime research and innovation center for the state that will develop strategies for law enforcement prevention and victim services. There will be $5 million to help victims of human trafficking. It will go toward things such as emergency shelter, a 24-hour talk line, housing assistance, GED and vocational training, help getting driver's licenses, transportation to and from appointments, etc. And more than $4 million in new grants will go to localities participating in the Maryland Criminal Intelligence Network that targets gangs and violent criminal networks. An Army sergeant accused of driving through several states to murder his estranged wife in Severn has been convicted of the charges against him. Sergeant Malik Carney, 37, of San Antonio, was convicted yesterday by a federal grand jury of interstate travel to commit domestic violence resulting in death for the murder of his estranged wife. Prosecutors say the case was made with the help of Carney's mistress. In August of 2015, Carney drove from South Carolina to Maryland. Hours later, he arrived at his wife's home, entered with his key, shot his wife 3 times, and left after placing the couple's 4-month-old daughter in his wife's arms. Right now, Carney is facing life in prison, and he is going to be sentenced in November. I'm not sure what it is with stupid drivers. The other day, we had a guy that showed up to take his driving test loaded up with pot and guns and cash. And now we have a Glen Burnie man who received a call to pick up one of his friends after his friend got arrested for DUI, showed up at the state police barrack in an Uber. So far, so good, but he had suspected crack cocaine and a crack pipe in his pocket. He was charged with possession of a controlled substance and paraphernalia. Folks, when you go to the MVA, when you're going to the police barracks, don't bring your drugs. That is about it for the top news stories today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. Please recommend us to your friends and coworkers because we like more people to listen to us and it really helps us grow. It is Friday. You want to make sure that you hang out till the end because we've got our picks for the weekend things to do, and there are a bunch of them. And of course, we have George Young with DMV Weather, and he's coming right up after this brief message from Kegs and Corks. Oh, and by the way, on Kegs and Corks, when you buy your tickets, use the code EOA and you'll save $10 on every general admission ticket that you buy between now and August 17th.
Don't miss the best event of the summer. Come out Saturday, August 18th for the Kegs and Corks Festival at the Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds. Get tickets now at kegsandcorksfest.com to begin the party at noon instead of 1 with early access tickets. Tickets benefit the Special Olympics of Maryland and include a souvenir glass, unlimited wine and beer samples, plus live music all day, including headliner Kristen and the Noise. Enjoy over 80 Maryland wines, 40 craft beers, incredible food, and more. Go now to kegsandcorksfest.com.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, August 10th. Today should be a carbon copy of yesterday's sunshine and high temps between 85 and 92 degrees, which will be nice while it lasts because rain chances will then reemerge late in the evening and nighttime hours today with a shower or storm possible as a frontal boundary moves closer from the west. And then we should definitely expect showers and storms off and on throughout the weekend and into earlier mid next week with temps in the low to mid 80s each day for the next several days moving forward as that frontal boundary gets jammed up over the eastern portion of the United States, resulting in tons of clouds and possible rainfall totals over the 4 to 5 day stretch starting Saturday of 3 inches or more in spots. So break those umbrellas back out and make plans this weekend to do both indoor and outdoor activities as you bob and weave the periods of rain that roll through the Annapolis region. Okay, that's it for today. Be sure to download our free weather app by searching the Apple App Store or Google Play Store for DC MDVA weather so you can track all the storms on our MaxMap radar tool and also get timely updates via push notifications regarding the rain and any severe weather that breaks out. And be sure to also follow us on our website at dmvweather.com or on Facebook or Twitter so you can always stay weather informed. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there, but remember, whatever the weather outside, have fun and be safe.
Hi, I'm Anne Arundel County Executive Steve Shue. Pain never killed anyone, but heroin does. We're tired of losing our mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons to this epidemic. Step up and join our effort to stop creating new users. Drs Orders.
Go to aacounty.org/heroin to learn more about how you can stop addiction.
September 29th, the inaugural Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, music, food, and arts festival, presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines. Dance the afternoon away to the sounds of Saved by Zero and the Groove Spot Band. Watch the plein air painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 29th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Need to make plans for the weekend? We got you covered. Here are our top picks. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for the events newsletter with a listing of all the upcoming area events.
Thank God it's...
Hey, it's the weekend, and as usual, there is an awful lot to do. Tonight, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the historic London Town and Gardens, it is Scotch tasting, and this is all part of Scottish Weekend. You can kickstart it off by joining London Town and Bay Ridge Wine and Spirits for a tasting tour of Scotland through their, well, Scotch. Johnny Walker Black, Shackleton, Craggamore 12-year, Ardbeg 10-year. They will have discussions on the difference between single malt, single grain, blended. You'll learn about the different regions where they produce various scotches, and you'll even get to try a scotch from before and after the secondary barrel finish. It is $35 for members of Historic London Town, $45 for non-members, and unfortunately you got to leave the kids at home because it is a 21 and over event. Moving into Saturday, and for this one, you can bring the kids. 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., you can go to the Paca House and Gardens and do some plein air painting out in their gardens. It's a family-friendly event, and you can have little ones and big ones try their hand at plein air painting of the most spectacular gardens that you're probably going to see in the state of Maryland. You can bring your own picnic and enjoy an open-air lunch out on the terrace, and they will have ice cream for sale a little bit later on in the day. Doors do open at 11. The guided painting session begins at 11:30. And ice cream is going to be available for purchase beginning at 12:30. The picnic is free and open to the public, as would be wandering around the gardens. If you wanted to try the painting, it's $10 per person for members of Historic Annapolis, or $15 per person for general admission, and supplies and instruction are included on that. Moving across the bridge over into Montana. Well, not Montana, it's just the eastern shore. The Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum is hosting their 9th annual Waterman Appreciation Day, and this is quite a sight to see. The festival gets underway at 10 a.m. They're going to have crabs. They'll be served by noon by watermen, and year after year, the organizers have kept the price for a dozen steamed crabs and corn on the cob for $25, and they are keeping it the same price again this year. Tickets to get into the festival are $18 for adults, $8 for children 6 to 17. Under 6 is free. And the highlight of the whole thing is going to be the Waterman's Rodeo. And it's sort of like a high-speed docking boat handling competition, and that will get underway at noon. There will be bleachers provided for spectators, and there's also a kids rowboat competition as well with prizes. You can find out more information about the event or get tickets at cbmm.org. Back over here also on Saturday evening at 6 p.m. at Quiet Waters Park. The band Zaki, a 9-piece Latin fusion band, is going to be playing at Quiet Waters Park for another free concert. The Washington, D.C. band is known for its high-energy performance, and the concert is free, and so is the admission to the park. And on Sunday from 3 to 7 p.m., you've got the Bay Ridge Rock Fest. This is held at the Bay Ridge Marina at 80 East Lake Drive in Annapolis, and it's sponsored by the Annapolis Design District, and it's going to feature the music of the Magnetics. They bill them as Annapolis favorites for a generation. I'm not sure about that. I've never heard of them, but they are unforgettable power vocals. Energy grooves will keep your summer sizzling. They're going to also have another special guest called Leving Texas, which is cutting-edge twang rock mixed with a healthy dose of raw whiskey spark country. Admission to this is free. It does go on rain or shine. They will have a food truck there. It is BYOB, so if you want some beer or something like that, bring it there. Bring your own lawn chair. And again, it is being brought to you by the Annapolis Design District. That is about it for all the stuff to do on the weekend. Whatever you decide to do, please make sure you do it safely, and we will see you on Monday.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.